Hello everyone and welcome to my first episode of my 82nd Academy Awards video coverage. Yes, I am doing yet another one of these, and this time I'm going to see to it that I do not give up like I did with my Golden Globes video series where I failed. But this is the Oscars, damn it. I need to do this. For you. Okay, let's get started. So on today's episode, the first category that I'll be going over is Best Sound Editing. Now, obviously, this isn't that much of a big deal. I mean, every category in the Academy Awards is important, but, you know, not that many people are going to be affected about who wins or who loses in this category other than the people who are nominated. So I'm just going to go ahead and say the nominees and tell you guys what my picks are. Let me pull it up right here. Okay, so Best Achievement in Sound Editing. The nominees are Avatar, The Hurt Locker, Inglourious Bastards, Star Trek, and Up. Okay, so, sound editing, what can I say? To be honest, I have a tie for 3 picks out of this category, and that is The Hurt Locker, Inglourious Bastards, and Star Trek. Inglourious Bastards and Hurt Locker are kind of both in the same type of pick. They both qualify as just one pick because they have to do with the same, you know, the same issues in terms of their sound editing, where it's mostly gunfire and explosions and metal and stuff like that. It's a great achievement. And Star Trek, it really captured the essence of space, you know, how it got silent at a couple of times during the movie, and the sound of the spaceships sound authentic like they do in the show, and weaponry and all that crazy stuff. So out of those 3 films, The Hurt Locker, Inglourious Bastards, and Star Trek, I don't really care whoever wins, just as long as one of those 3 wins. Next category is Best Art Direction. Another category that you guys are going to be like... Anyway, the nominees are Avatar, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, 9, Sherlock Holmes, and The Young Victoria. Now, I truly loved the world that James Cameron gave us in Avatar. But I really, aside from a science fiction world that he created, much like he done in other films, or you know, or related to that, like in Terminator 2 and Aliens, I'm gonna have to say that my pick for this category would have to be Sherlock Holmes. I mean, it's one of the very few movies that, even though it must smell like nasty back then in Victorian era, I think it's not Victorian era, but around the 1800s in London, even though it might have smelled bad, judging by how the streets look, they look authentic. And I would love to go back to London in that time and kind of play it as a maze, go through the streets of London and, you know, see where I'm gonna end up in the next, you know, around the next corner. Hopefully I won't find Jack the Ripper, and instead I'll find Mr. Holmes there. Not to mention, that movie had 2 iconic set pieces that I'm not gonna forget, which is the battle with that big guy, you know, on the side of that ship, and the end battle, or the end fight, the climax, on top of that unbuilt bridge. That was pretty epic looking, at least. So my pick, Sherlock Holmes, and I think the Academy's pick will be either Sherlock Holmes or Avatar. Both are very artsy looking films in terms of their art direction. Best Costume Design. Now, I personally don't give a damn about costumes unless they're like superhero films or the costumes are actually kind of cool to look at. The nominees are Bright Star, Coco Avant Chanel, which is Coco before Chanel, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, 9, and The Young Victoria. Again, don't really care who wins, but if I have to choose somebody, I get the strangest feeling that movie, The Young Victoria, is going to win, because the Academy is a sucker for those kinds of films in terms of their costume design, you know, from back when, you know, when they used to be kings and princesses and all that. So if I had to choose out of all these, I would have to say that movie, Young Victoria. And the last category that I'll be dealing with today on this episode, Best Adapted Screenplay, or as the Academy likes to call it, Best Writing Screenplay based on material previously produced or published. And the nominees are District 9, Neil Blomkamp and Terry Tetzel. An Education, Nick Hornby. In the Loop, Jesse Armstrong, Simon Blackwell, Arnaldo Iñochi, and Tony Roche. Precious, Jeffrey Fletcher, and Up in the Air, Jason Reitman and Sheldon Turner. Now, this is an interesting category because in the Golden Globes, this category wasn't divided into 2 like it is here in the Academy. Here, it's two categories. In the Academy, in the Golden Globes, it was just 1. Best Screenplay. That's it. Here we got 2. In the Golden Globes, I don't know what it is, but I felt that Quentin Tarantino was robbed. And Jason Reitman and Sheldon Turner took the Golden Globe for Best Screenplay for Up in the Air, which I have seen the film, and it is a very ingenious film. It has a lot of witty dialogue, and I'm a fan of it. Here, Quentin Tarantino is out of that category, so he still has a chance in the other side of the Best Writing categories. So here, the only two that show any sort of prospect will have to be either District 9, because it's my favorite movie of the year, at least, and Up in the Air, Jason Reitman. And since they have taken the Golden Globe, and they, like I said, I've seen Up in the Air. It has a lot of witty dialogue that I'm a big fan of, and I loved how there's not exactly twists, but revelations towards the end of the film that make you go, oh, for real? I mean, they don't shock you beyond belief, but they're kind of interesting to know about. So my pick, as for who I would choose and who I think is going to win, will have to be Jason Reitman and Sheldon Turner for Up in the Air. Being that now they have a great opportunity, like I said, the only other very strong competition will have to be District 9 or The Long Shot, which is Precious. So that is it for today's episode of the Oscars. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more coverage on this year's Academy Awards as we count down to the actual ceremony, which is March 7th, 2010. So that's it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless, and thank you guys for watching.